Hi, today we are making banana bread. If you got those ripe bananas, do not throw them away. They make the best banana bread. So we're going to start off with 2 cups of flour. And I always toss my flour in the jar before I actually get the flour out. So we want 2 cups. And you don't even have to sift it. Just get 2 cups. There's our flour. And what I do is I do all my dry ingredients first. I make sure I have everything laid out, and then I start to add my ingredients. Okay, so then we're going to need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And banana bread, you know, sometimes I put chocolate chips in there, but today I'm just going to do walnuts. I love walnuts in banana bread, so. Okay, so that's our baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And then we need a pinch of salt. And so I'm just going to add a pinch of salt in there. And then also, the recipe does not call for cinnamon, but I always add cinnamon into my banana bread. And I would say probably like a half a teaspoon of that. Okay, and so the next thing we need is 3/4 cup of sugar. So let's get our sugar. So there's 1, 2, 3 cups of sugar. Okay, so we've got all our dry ingredients here, so I'm just going to give that a good mix. Get it all mixed well. And then, so what I do is I do all my dry ingredients first, and then I'll add the wet ingredients. So we've got, our next ingredient is going to be our bananas. So I've got 3 ripe bananas. Just throw it all in the bowl. And then I also have a 1/4 cup of butter. Now this is just slightly melted, so I get that in there. You want to make sure your butter is cool before you actually add it in. So this is the butter. And then you're also going to need 1 tablespoon of water. So let me get a tablespoon of water. I'm just going to add a little bit more. Okay, so, and then that's pretty much, that's all your ingredients. And then what you want to do is just mix that well. And after I get it mixed up really well, then I'm going to add some walnuts into it. And walnuts, when you bite into that banana bread, and you always get that nice little crunch with the walnuts. I just love it. Very earthy taste. So just mix this well. And it gets to a consistency of it's pretty runny, so you just keep mixing. Get all that dry ingredients mixed in there very well. Now I'm going to change out my fork and get a spoon. And just keep mixing well, because you're going to see the consistency that it needs to be when everything is mixed in just right. Oh, and you know, I did forget one thing. No wonder why it's a little dry. We need to add an egg. 1 egg. Let me get an egg. Okay. So we've got our egg, and that's the one ingredient I forgot to lay out, and I always crack my eggs into a bowl first to make sure that it's a good egg. Add your egg in there and mix well. My dog, she barks at everything. She's definitely a little barker. Okay, so this is mixed very well. And you can see the chunks of banana in there. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. It's pretty runny. So that's your batter. So now I'm going to add in some walnuts. And I already have my loaf pan. It's already greased, ready to go. So I'm just going to add in a few walnuts, just like a handful, but I always just kind of like chop them up. I don't really put them in like really big chunks, so I don't know if you could see that, but I just kind of give it a rough chop so they're not such big chunky walnuts. See, because some of these walnuts are really big, so you know, you want them to be bite-sized. So I think that's good. Okay, so we're going to add those in. Mix well again. And then you're going to transfer it all into your baking loaf pan. And we're going to bake this in the oven for 1 hour. Actually, maybe like 45 minutes. You want to start checking it. I always put it for an hour and then I check it right before it's up. But now at this point, after you filled your loaf pan up, if you want, you could sprinkle the top with brown sugar. Or you could sprinkle with more walnuts if you like. So you could have walnuts on the top of this as well. But this is your batter. Pretty simple, and also it's very tasty. So I'll link the recipe on here for you as well. But we're going to bake this at 350 for 1 hour. But at 45 minutes, you want to make sure that you are checking it. Okay, we'll come back and I'll show you the final result.